Unleashing the Power of Women's Voices. My name is 𝐤𝐨𝐬 Van Leeuwen, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be co-hosting today's event. Today's event is brought to you by Women Thrive Media, and we have 10 amazing speakers ready to inspire and motivate you all today, waiting backstage. You'll hear stories of success, triumph, overcoming adversity and challenges, and learning crucial life and business lessons. So, if this is your first Women Thrive event, you're absolutely in for a treat, everybody. Women Thrive, just a little bit of background here. Women Thrive was born out of the passion and purpose of founder and trailblazer Raymonda Jan. This global community brings women together to elevate, encourage, and hold space for each other, and is an opportunity
Hello, Kylie will be back with us in a moment. I'm Dawn Gaydon. I'm so excited to be co-hosting with Kylie on the Women Thrive Summit today. How exciting. We have women from across the globe here to share their stories with you. And you'll be amazed, you'll be moved, you'll be inspired to take action, to join us at the summit, which is in March. Women Thrive Summit 2024 is coming in March. And now we'll be posting some links in the comments to have you sign up for the Women Thrive magazine, a gold mine of information in that magazine. And we're just so excited to kick this off. I'm hoping Kylie will come back and join us. In the meantime, I want to welcome Jane, who's in the comments. If you're here, say hello, welcome. Where are you from? A little bit about me. I'm Dawn Gaydon. I am the owner of Mind Body Counseling and Coaching, and I am right here in Brighton, Michigan. Who's in Brighton, Michigan with me? Who's in Michigan with me? Who's in the U.S.? Hello, Jane from Toronto. Crystal, upstate New York. Yes, yes, yes. Great. We got a couple people here and ready to go. This is wonderful, wonderful. I want to welcome back Kylie. She was giving us a beautiful introduction, and I would love for you to just take it from where you were, because you were just beautiful.
I'm so sorry, Dawn and everybody else. I'm actually in a hotel in Canada at the moment, and my Wi-Fi might be a little unstable. So let's try again, and I will get through this and welcome our beautiful, so we can start welcoming our beautiful speakers to the stage. So bear with me. So I was saying a little bit about Women Thrive. So Women Thrive was born out of the passion and purpose of founder and trailblazer Raymonda Jan, together to elevate, encourage, and hold space for each other. And it's an opportunity to share our stories, challenges, and successes to support other women in business to make their aspirations a reality. I have a saying that I use quite often, and it's, you can't be what you can't see, or it's really difficult to be what you can't see. And this is what Women Thrive provides: a global community of women showing up for each other and paving the way to inspire other women in business and leadership. These women are thought leaders, daring, disruptive, and purpose-driven to make a difference and create change in the world. And unleashing the power of women's voices is a one-of-a-kind experience designed to ignite your potential, amplify a diverse group of women's voices, and inspire you to make a lasting impact in your personal and professional life. Through captivating stories, interactive networking sessions, and engaging discussions, you will leave with new tools, strategies, and mindset to overcome obstacles, shatter glass ceilings, which we love, and step into your full potential. Every month in the Women Thrive Showcase, we feature an exceptional lineup of trailblazing women who have made significant contributions in their respective fields. These events are an opportunity to connect with like-minded women who are passionate about personal growth, empowerment, and creating positive change. And what I personally love about these events is the opportunity for us as women to come together and share our purpose and our stories, and some of those stories we've never shared before. Embracing and finding strength in our vulnerability and sharing our stories, struggles, and experiences to help other women navigate their journeys. The other day, I was actually reflecting on my own journey in business and my experience as a member of this community in Women Thrive for the past few months. And I came across this beautiful little saying, that really resonated with me, that I thought would be really timely to share this afternoon. And it goes a little something like this. I sat down with the universe and told her I wanted to grow. I told her to use me as a vessel, so she made me uncomfortable. She stripped me of everything I knew, made me learn to be silent, how to let go, how to move on, how to stand my ground, how to be more assertive, more loving, less naive. She told me to take everything I've learned and share it with others. And that's exactly what these events enable us to do. So you may be all wondering why you're seeing Dawn and I instead of your regular monthly hosts, Raymonda and Abby. Well, they're currently in Valencia, Spain, hosting a beautiful business retreat, the first of many, I'm sure, supporting women in business and entrepreneurs like you and I to feel empowered, inspired, and supported to dream big and create a life and business on their own terms. I've been following the retreat on social media, and I must say I'm a little bit envious, and I'll definitely be attending the retreat next year. So a little bit about me before I welcome Dawn back onto the stage. I'm the founder of Elevated Coaching and Consulting Global. I'm a psychotherapist, emotional intelligence coach, NLP master practitioner, and a human rights consultant. I have a master's in human resources and leadership, and I'm really passionate about empowering women to reach their full potential and creating inclusive, equitable, and psychologically safe workplaces. I'm delighted to be one of the speakers who'll be speaking at the Women Thrive Summit being held in March 2024. And this annual event is one not to be missed. So make sure you register. We'll pop the links in the chat today and don't miss the opportunity to attend. A couple of reminders before I wrap up. We love it when our audience engages during these events, so I encourage you to use the chat function to communicate and encourage our wonderful speakers. And please don't forget to connect with them on their social media channels that we will also share during each talk today. Don't forget to follow Women Thrive Summit and Women Thrive Media on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to stay up to date on all upcoming news and events. And now I'm delighted to welcome my co-host, Dawn Gayden. Please join me, everybody, in welcoming Dawn. Are you there, Dawn?
I'm here.
There
Hello.
she is. She's back.
Thank you. I love it. Oh, this is so wonderful. I'm so excited for today, just to hear all the speakers, to be on this end of supporting and cheering them on and hearing their amazing stories. So a little bit about me. I'm Dawn Gayden. I'm a licensed counselor, self-image coach, yoga teacher, and I teach a unique practice called Intensati. It connects mind, body, and spirit using powerful positive words, affirmations, and movement and music, all the beautiful things that really wakes up our spirit. And I've been a licensed counselor for over 23 years, and I love working with clients. I help them get unstuck from limiting beliefs, unstuck from that trance of unworthiness, and really wake up to your best self. So I'm really excited to be here. Thank you, Kylie, for introducing me. Thank you for partnering with me on this amazing day. I'm looking forward to this journey.
We've had so much fun, Dawn, over the past couple of days, haven't we? It's, I mean, you hosted the speaker call yesterday, and we've got 10 amazing women that are going to join us this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning, depending on where you're zooming in from or joining us from. But I'm super excited.
It's going to be wonderful. Just so many amazing journeys. And when we take that courage, we take that step from courage to know, like we listen to that gut and intuition that says our story is meant to be shared.
Yeah,
We're here to share our
that's
stories
it.
because it changes us. It changes the world for the better. And so having that courage and strength and confidence to share our stories, it will touch someone. It will open your heart. It will inspire you. And that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Because I think when I think back to my journey, as a leader, but also as a business owner, entrepreneur, you think about those people that shared their stories that inspired you. So that's the purpose of these events, right? Is to share stories. And even if our stories resonate with one woman and encourage that woman to, go forward in her path, or have the courage and encourage somebody to take action that's going to lead them on that path to whatever success looks like for them.
Right. Yes.
It's just beautiful.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And our stories, they touch hearts. And isn't there a quote that says it doesn't matter what we say or what we do. It matters on how we make people feel, something like that. I probably just slandered the whole quote, but how we make people feel. So when we come into, into an audience, or, show up in our presence, like, how do we want to make people feel? So, and I think that there's this, another saying from my coaches, always leave an impression of increase. Always leave an impression of increase happiness, increase joy, increase confidence, like really help people shine. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. I always say not just my team, but my daughter as well, because she's a teenager now. Your goal every day when you leave the house is to leave people better than how you found them, right?
Yeah.
So enriching the lives of others and encouraging others. We don't know what everybody's journey is. Lots of things happen in people's lives that we know nothing about. So these events they make me feel all warm and fuzzy, Dawn.
Yeah. And sometimes we think, if I just lock up this experience and put it in a box and not share it, it's safer. It feels more comfortable and just go on. But those are the experiences that have to be shared. They will change lives. They have to be shared.
Absolutely. It's like there's a saying, I'll totally butcher it too, so I won't even try it. But that whole thing about a problem shared is halved, or something like that. I think that's true too.
Yeah.
Even in those darkest moments, or things that we look back on that we think that was really traumatic, there's usually a lesson in every experience. So sharing these stories is so valuable, and I have loved these monthly speaker showcases. So this one is absolutely no different.
And connecting with one another, right? So as a speaker, we get to connect with this brand new community, brand new family. I mean, half of them are in Valencia together in person, real hugs, real smiles. And, and as you come into the summit as a guest, you get to know us, you get to join the family and be a part of that. There's an inner circle with Thrive, Women Thrive. Come into the family. This is a place where we rise together. We thrive together.
Absolutely. And on that note, Dawn, I am going to introduce our amazing first speaker. So, Maria Cristina Sheehan. She is a physical strength and longevity coach. She helps those who want to age energetically and not stereotypically. I'm excited about all these speakers, but I'm really excited to hear what Maria's got to say. So welcome to the stage, Maria. Dr. Maria, I should say. My apologies. Maria might be having some technical difficulties like I was earlier. It might be just the afternoon for it. Dr. Maria Cristina, can you hear me? No. Okay. We'll try and bring her to the stage one more time, see if Maria can join us. Otherwise, we might move to another speaker, and we may come back to Maria shortly. She might be having some technical difficulties. Okay. So let's okay, so we might call back Maria in a moment, but what we might do is move to our fourth speaker, which is Lauren Taylor. Now, Lauren is a dedicated wellness expert and the visionary behind Lauren Ray Wellness. Hi, Lauren, how are you?
Hi, Kylie. Good to see you.
Good. So I'm just reading your bio here. So you're a dedicated wellness expert, the visionary behind Lauren Ray Wellness, a coaching business born from your desire to help individuals break free from feeling trapped, insecure, and lost in their lives. That sounds unbelievable and very powerful.
Thank you, Kylie. It's a real honor to be here speaking on this showcase today and on the Women Thrive platform, because I mean, much like you just kind of explained that, it's a really important topic for me in showing women that they can break through the things that are holding them back, the things that are keeping them small. And you know, the topic of this showcase today is unleashing the power of women's voices. And for me, the topic of voices is something that is so close to my heart. It's something that I've battled with and struggled with, and now I'm an advocate for, and I am I just feel so strongly about helping women to discover their voices. So I'm really glad to be here to share today.
Wonderful. Well, we can't wait to hear from you. So I will leave you to it and I'll jump back in shortly. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thanks, Kylie. So, as Kylie has just so beautifully introduced me, I am Lauren Taylor. I'm a wellness and a confidence coach, and I help women out of my practice, Lauren Ray Wellness. And that is a business that was born through my own struggles with finding my voice and finding confidence in who I was. From a really young age, I struggled with shyness, and it was something that really held me back and kept me small. And although I didn't see it as a weakness at the time, I was constantly reminded of how I needed to speak up, how I needed to use my voice more. But I just didn't know how. It just wasn't comfortable for me. And gradually over time, I started to feel like something was wrong with me. I started to feel like I needed to be different, that I wasn't like other people, that I wasn't normal. And gradually that became more and more of a problem, with me becoming less and less confident in who I was. And I would start to compare myself to other people a lot. And I would think that I wasn't capable of things that other people were capable of, because I didn't have that voice, because I didn't know how to put myself forward. And as a result of that, I started playing my life really small. And as I say, that started as a child, but when it really started to impact me was into my adulthood, where I started passing up opportunities, incredible opportunities that would have advanced my career or put me on a completely different path that just would have been a completely different challenge to me. But because I had this insecurity, because I didn't think that I was good enough, because I didn't think I was loud enough or confident enough, it kept me feeling small. And by my mid-20s, I was in crisis. I had completely lost myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what was important to me. I didn't know what my values were. I didn't know where I was headed anymore. And I think it was a result of playing it so small and avoiding who I was for so much of my life that I just got completely lost. And at that point, I didn't know how to go forward. I felt like I had missed my chance in life. I felt like it was too late, or I was too old to change my direction, or it was just too difficult now to get back on that path that I should have been on. And I really started to spiral. But one day I started to get this niggling feeling that there was more out there for me. I just could not see how there was a road there at all. I just couldn't imagine that it would ever be possible for me. And so I just kept going along the path that I'd been on, hiding in the background, going through the motions of life, but really just feeling completely unfulfilled. And it was only when I had a bit of a health shock and a bit of a wake up call that I decided to do something about my health. And I started showing myself some self care, and I started thinking about my diet, thinking about how I was looking after my body. I was looking after myself on a spiritual and an emotional level as well. And that did something that allowed me to shift my perceptions of myself, so I could start seeing that there was more there, and start seeing that, okay, I didn't have the loudest voice, I wasn't the most confident person, but I still had strengths and I still had qualities that were valuable and were worthwhile, and that I should be putting out into the world. And little by little, I found that I was building my confidence with those actions, with that self care. And I realized that everything I thought had been completely wrong. And actually, what I was capable of was so much more than I'd ever imagined. And it was with that realization that I pushed myself to new limits. And it was when I pushed myself to those new limits that I realized that I needed to help other people that were struggling with these same worries, these same doubts, these same insecurities that are holding them back from achieving the incredible things they're meant to be doing right now. And so that was how Lauren Ray Wellness was born. And now I help women through wellness to build their confidence, to find their strengths, to see their value, and help them move forward onto that path. And so it's so special for me to be here on this platform sharing this story. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. That was wonderful. So good to hear your story. And I know it's going to reach so many people that need to hear it. What you said about like pushing yourself to new limits, and you can probably say like it wasn't easy, but you needed to do it. Like it wasn't easy. It was not easy to push ourselves, but we do it.
I always say the things that are most worth doing are the things that aren't easy. You know, none of the things that we want, none of the things that are going to make our lives the best they can be are the things that are easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it does take the work, but the work is so worth it. It's so worth it.
So good. Thank you so much. So much. Now, where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you?
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram at Lauren Ray Coaching. Ray is RAE. And you can find me on Facebook at Lauren Ray Wellness.
Wonderful. And you'll put those links in the chat for everyone?
I will pop those in the chat. Yeah. Sure.
Wonderful. Thank you. Lauren Taylor, Wellness and Confidence Coach. Thank you so much. Powerful speakers. There's so many more to come. So I'm going to jump right in and introduce our next speaker. Here we go. Christine Williams. Christine Williams is the owner and founder of Shine Wellness, LLC, a 7-figure business dedicated to empowering women wellness coaches and holistic practitioners to create soul-led and heart-centered 6-figure businesses without the hustle and aggressive sales tactics. Let's welcome Christine Williams. Christine. Christine is not in the green room. Okay, we're going to go to the next speaker. I missed that message. That's okay. Crystal, I know Crystal's here. Crystal Hurley. Yay. Crystal Hurley is a confidence and dating coach. You're going to want to catch her talk if you are in the dating field and need more confidence. She's dedicated to helping single women confidently find lasting love and nurture healthy relationships with themselves and others. Yay, Crystal.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, so glad you're here. I'm so excited to hear your talk.
Thank you for the beautiful introduction.
Oh, you're so welcome. I will let you take it away.
Okay, thank you so much. Everyone, I'm Crystal. I'm Crystal Hurley, a confidence and dating coach, and I guide women through their dating journey so that they can find true love faster. And our work helps ensure that they stop self-sabotaging and so that they don't settle for less along the way. I just love talking about all things love and confidence related. And I'll be staying on here. So if you think of any questions, just type them in the chat and I'll reply. If you're doing well in life, but you're still single, I can imagine you're feeling confused and lost as to why. I know I was there for many years. And if that's you, this talk is for you. And maybe you will think of someone that you can pass this talk and my information onto because I just, like I said, I love love. So I went through the ringer with dating. I know that dating is hard. It's exhausting. It's lonely. It's discouraging. Since my first boyfriend in high school, I was in the dating scene for over 15 years. And that means 15 years of what felt like rejection, felt like failure, and was full of me giving myself pep talks all the time so I didn't give up on dating entirely. I have lost count as to how many stories I collected and how many lessons I learned from over those 15 years. And last month I shared one embarrassing one if you were here for that. Now I'm happily married for almost 5 years now, and I've just learned so much from my experience with dating and in marriage and from my education. So today I want you to walk away with something actionable, and here it is. Look at dating like a process of information gathering. It's about getting as much information about the person that you're interested in. You already swiped right on the person or picked them out of a crowd of strangers to get to know more. So we already know you're interested. We already know there's chemistry. But the information gathering mindset is more about assessing compatibility. It takes the pressure off of whether that person likes you and shifts it to you figuring out if you like the other person. And it adds some fun to it. So ask questions, set up experiments to gather as much information as you can and get answers to questions that you have. It's so that you can make an informed decision when it's time to commit. So I just have a quick story. A woman that I'm working with developed romantic feelings for a man about 2 months ago. They met at a local ongoing event. So they see each other about every couple of weeks. And they haven't gone on a date yet. No one's made a move, but the chemistry is clear. So we'll see where it heads. For now, she's gone into information gathering mode, and it's so much fun to see the ways that she comes up with to like find more information out about him. And when she's ready to make a move, if she is, I'll be here for her. But recently, she embarrassed herself significantly in front of him. It wasn't an experiment. It wasn't on purpose, but she chose to use the information gathering mindset to take note of how he responded to the situation. And he ended up doing so with great care and compassion. But after this, she came to me and was like, anytime I have to go on a date in the future, I'm going to purposefully spill my drink or do something embarrassing to see how the person responds and handles it. She said she learned so much about the man's character from the way that he responded when she embarrassed herself a couple of weeks ago. So she wants to put this into her information gathering toolkit. So there's so much I want to cram in. This is only the tip of the iceberg, but I want you to walk away today remembering the importance of information gathering and having fun with it. Right now, I'm working on a resource called A Guide to Your First 3 Dates. It hasn't launched yet, but stay tuned. And in the meantime, on Fridays, I offer free coaching to get the word out about this service. So I'm going to pop the link in the chat for you to sign up. If you think of anyone that it may be applicable to, you can share the link to them. And I really just look forward to talking to you. And thank you again for having me. Hi, Kylie.
Hi, Crystal. It's so nice to see you and have you on.
Too.
I listened to your last speaker showcase and then obviously this one. And every time I hear you speak about dating and sort of all of those things and the stories that you have shared, I really wish I had listened to these when I was going through the dating world and the dating life, because it would have probably made things a lot easier to navigate, I'm sure.
Thank you. I like calling myself a professional ally.
I absolutely love it. Well, it's been wonderful, Crystal. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful listening to your story, and I'm sure we will see you again on the speaker showcase.
Thanks again.
Thanks so much. Okay, so we are getting into it. What an amazing group of women we have here with us this afternoon. And I am going to I'm going to introduce our next speaker, which is Marissa Warren. So Marissa is a hypnotherapist and transformational consultant through combining NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I always get tongue-tied when I try and pronounce that. CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, psychotherapy, and hypnotherapy techniques. She creates a safe space to facilitate your healing journey and to create lasting impact in your life. Welcome, Marissa. It's so nice to have you here. I can't.
Can you hear me okay? Sorry, can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I was just saying, is that another Australian accent I can hear?
It is. I'm from Brisbane. So it's early in the morning for me this morning, but the sun is already up. So I feel like it's okay to be up this early.
Absolutely. Well, I'm from Sydney, but I'm living in the US. So every time I hear the twang of the Aussie accent, I pick it up pretty quickly now. Welcome.
Oh, yeah, you can't miss it. Thank you so much. It's so lovely to be here.
Well, let's get it underway. I'm dying to hear all about you and the beautiful work that you do. So I will hand over to you, and thank you again for joining us, Marissa.
Thank you. Absolute pleasure to be here. So yes, in conjunction to doing the RTT, I also have, as part of my offerings, I also do 𝐸HHT, which is a quantum healing hypnosis technique, somatic and tantric embodiment, breathwork, and sound healing. So for me, it's really important to be able to create that safe space for my clients to be able to facilitate them through a healing journey and be able to help making lasting impacts in their life. So my purpose, and I feel like this is truly my soul's alignment and my soul's purpose, is to be able to guide my clients back to their inner and unlimited potential and reconnect back to themselves at a deeper level. I truly know from firsthand experience how important it is to have a safe space to be seen, heard, and healed. So today I want to share my story, and I'm sure that this will resonate with some people. And I want you to know that the past doesn't define your present, doesn't determine your future, and that every day is a new day to start over and create a new life, a new mindset, And it's these micro shifts that are made daily that add up to bring in big life changes. And sometimes it's just that one foot in front of the other to walk in a different direction that can create many different changes within your life. So I first started this work around 3.5 years ago after the death of my father, but I feel like it's been a lifetime in the making. And I truly feel for the first time in my life that I'm truly in alignment with my soul's purpose and mission, and that the work I'm doing and making the impact that I'm here to truly do. I feel like my entire life and its events has all been and all roads lead in the right direction. Sometimes it's not until you get to a different point in your life where you look back at your past life experiences and you're able to connect the dots and see why everything had to happen in your life, as horrible as it may have been to go through at the time. So I was really close to my dad, and when he passed, I just felt like my whole world imploded. It was a huge catalyst for a major change in my life, and I really didn't want my next 40 years to be the same as my last 40 years. So I went on a huge soul journey, and I really took the time to dive deep into myself, face all of the depths of myself, and really face some elements that have laid dormant for so long within me. So when I was 17, I had a pretty deep trauma occur, and that was for me a sliding doors moment. That one moment in time led me to making different decisions for my life, and it completely changed the entire trajectory of my life. I just didn't know it at the time. I pushed that event down so deep, and it remained buried and dormant for pretty much my entire life until the major shakeup occurred with my father's passing. But throughout my life, there were many signs and screams to go within and to face this part of myself, but I just wasn't listening. So it manifested through the life choices I made, the lifestyles I've lived, the relationships I've had, the men I chose. And it also showed up through my workaholic tendencies, which ultimately led me to burnout. And when I hit burnout, this was the first time that I experienced somatic and tantric work. I felt like my life was a million-piece jigsaw puzzle, and all of the pieces were scattered on the table. And I knew I needed to fit the pieces back together again, but they were just never going to fit together the same way. I knew I was never going to be the same version of myself again. I was so numbed out and completely disconnected. And I felt like the only way I could rebuild from the ground up and feel like I could start to feel anything again was through the connection back to my body. But for so long, it hadn't really felt safe or familiar to fully and truly feel into all parts of my body and into myself. There were always parts of me that were left untouched or untouchable to me and to others. So this was the first step on the journey to rediscovering and rebuilding me, because it's never too late to start over. And I feel like throughout my life, I've been like a snake shedding its skin, morphing and evolving when I've outgrown phases and I'm ready to up level and elevate and transform to a higher, newer version of me. And I truly believe that life gives you what you are capable of moving through, and every situation is a learning point, even the bad situations. And while no one would ever consciously choose to have something bad happen to them, it's not the event that affects you, it's the meaning you apply to the event, and everything in life is simply a perception of your own thoughts and reality. So I also learned that what you don't feel, you can't heal. So I really faced all parts of myself. And then this for me is where true freedom and peace came from. I realized that it doesn't matter what's happening externally with other people or by people or happening in the world, that if I can always stay anchored to me and aligned to my true sovereignty, I no longer needed to seek external fixes for that internal void. I was able to meet myself, to come home to myself, to self-soothe, to soothe my soul, to nourish myself, to meet my own emotional needs, and really be able to tune in energetically to what was feeling right for me in my life. And now be able to tune into my intuition and my inner wisdom and knowledge that had always been there, but I just had never listened to it. I just had never been brave enough to really go within and tap into that full unlimited potential that everybody has within themselves. So there is nothing that anyone can do or say that can even come close to that level of what it's really like to truly come home to yourself and to face every part of you, those deep, dark parts that you've not wanted to face for however long, and to really, truly make peace and acceptance with things that have happened to you and choices that you've made in your life as well. And once you make peace and create acceptance with all aspects of yourself, nothing else can even come close to this depth of self-acceptance and inner freedom. And freedom for me was something that I was always longing for and seeking in all areas of my life. But once I went through that experience of really truly coming home to myself and facing all parts of myself, I really realized that freedom is always within me. It's that internal state that I create for myself and within myself. So for me, this journey came through the modalities that I now use with the work that I do with my clients, through the RTT, through the QHHT, and, you know, traveling through past lives, through the somatic and tantric embodiment work to really bring that connection back to the body and really restore that mind-body connection so that you no longer feel like there's that disconnect or that you're constantly in your head and you're just so numbed out in your body. So also through breath work and through sound healing. And each modality offers its own healing levels and help to move through the layers and help you to reconnect back to your soul's essence and really truly help you to connect back into you, to help you live in your own sovereignty, your own authenticity, and to live your best life. But most importantly, live a life that is truly aligned for you. I felt like there was so many times in my life that I was a chameleon, where I had to like morph and adapt to fit into certain people or relationships. And once I was able to really connect back into my own sovereignty, I really realized that like you are enough how you are, and that you will align with situations and people that are truly aligned with where you are. And the most important thing is to keep yourself in alignment with yourself. Because I truly believe that the medicine that we need, the answers we are seeking, the wisdom we're asking others for is already within us. We just need to be brave enough to ask, to listen, and to take the journey inwards. And I totally understand that this can be a challenging journey to go through. I've been through it myself, and it's definitely been a lot of support that has helped me there, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. So if you'd like to see how I can help you to align to living your best life, break free from past limitations, reconnect back to you, and align to your soul's passions, then feel free to please book in a free discovery call and we can chat and see how I can best support you along your life journey. And you can connect with me via my website or Instagram, and both under my name.
Wonderful. Marissa, I'm so excited to meet you and hear your talk. This is the first time I'm hearing your talk, so I'm so excited about what you have to share.
Amazing. Thank you.
And there's someone in the audience that needs what you have. So be sure to connect with Marissa. And Marissa, be sure to put your contact information in the chat for everyone.
I will. Thank you.
And I love what you talked about. What Marissa was talking about reminded me of a quote I have heard once. And it was, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasures you seek.
Oh, wow.
And it's just such, and I don't remember who said it, but it was like so powerful because we avoid those scary caves, those scary moments, but that's where our treasures lie. That's where we find the truth and our inner power. And
Yeah.
Marissa guides you through that. I think that's wonderful.
What beautiful work, huh?
Yeah, wonderful.
It's always that sort of thing that sometimes we fear the most is looking in the mirror and really looking deeply within ourselves, especially when it comes to trauma and trauma healing, which can be so complex, depending on, the trauma, the nature of it, the source of it, but really doing that work. I know so many adults that not only I work with, but I speak to, and people that I've led in teams over the years, that they've got deep trauma and they're just too scared about really doing the work because of what they might, like you said, uncover.
Right, right. And I love remembering, and I remind my clients of this all the time, make that memory, that pain small. Like my coach used to say that, make it small, stronger. I'm stronger than anything that comes my way. Like we remember our strength and our courage. And this thing, I'm just going to make it small. And one of our speakers earlier mentioned perception. How do I get to choose how to perceive this past event? And so we can decide that I'm going to take my power back and choose that it's small. And I'm going to find the treasures within the experiences that I've been through.
It's all that mindset, the things that we talk about often in this group as coaches and consultants and people that work with the mindset, and we support our clients with their mindset, but also we support them through that empowerment of making them realize that these are decisions you make. You get to choose. You get to choose how you show up every day in the world. You get to choose not your trauma, and that's, we acknowledge that, but you definitely get to choose how you perceive the things that have happened to you, and how to move forward in life. So I think that in itself is making people realize that they have choices in life is really empowering, particularly with different groups of people that we work with.
Yes. And I want to speak to the comment that Marissa put in the chat, because I think it's critical as a therapist, a counselor, and a coach. This is something I hear often is, I don't want to relive the trauma. I'm done talking about it. Every time I share it with a therapist, I have to relive it. And it's so true. We don't have to. That's what's amazing with Women Thrive, is we have so many experts in these new, they're not even new. I think a lot of the techniques that we use are ancient, that we're just reviving, I think is the word. We don't have to relive trauma and re-traumatize. There's different practices, the hypnotherapy, the NLP, to really remove, like, I see it as like roots. You're going to pull the roots out of the ground, all the weeds. We're going to pull them. We don't have to dissect it and know how many roots there, but we're just going to pull them and then plant the beautiful flowers and the vegetables and the beauty. We don't have to relive the trauma, and these practices and these experts here at Women Thrive can take us through the cave and find our treasures. I'm fascinated by what people will find, what the audience will find here when they join the summit.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about the summit, shall we, for a couple of minutes?
Yes.
So we're both speakers, as well as all the speakers that have featured already today and those still to come today, because we've still got a few more speakers. But it's so exciting. We've both been a part of the Women Thrive community for a couple of months now. Dawn, probably you've been longer than I have. And I thought March 2024 seemed so far away for the summit when I first joined. I think I joined probably 8 weeks ago. And now we're already thinking about, the holidays and Christmas, and December's right around the corner. And so is the summit. So it's so exciting to think that it's actually not too far away. And I think there's 50 plus speakers, wonderful, amazing women on stage in March.
Right. Right. So such a wealth of knowledge. And I love it's from across the world, right? I love when I speak with fellow speakers, and I'm like, oh, it's so great to connect across the pond. I'm in the US and someone might be in the UK, and I just love it. Like, we've heard before, the world is smaller than we think, and it really is, and it can be. And I know people often will say, I don't even like to say it, but we're zoomed out, or we're done with the screens. But if we can shift that perspective, right? And if it wasn't for this, Kylie, I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't have been introduced to Women Thrive and know Ray and Abby and all the 50 speakers. And so if we shift the perspective and say, look at what I can benefit from, how I can benefit from meeting these wonderful women and joining this tribe. I know Women Thrive has an inner circle. How do I join this tribe? And it makes the world shrink, and it feels like we're right here talking to each other in the same room.
There's no geographic boundaries, right? No. Which is what I love. I've never actually seen online connections like Zoom or Teams or the way we're connecting with people across the world today. I've never seen it as a negative thing. I can understand how people, especially during the pandemic, got exhausted from it. But for me, it's made my business and my connections and just everything, like the Women Thrive community, much more inclusive and accessible for people, because You know, you can hear from the accent. I was living in Australia, and those platforms and like this have allowed me to connect with women that I would otherwise not know and not have the pleasure of meeting. So I love it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And I've never known a community like this that's been so large as far as being global, but also so supportive and just opportunities for women to connect and collaborate. I think it's absolutely wonderful.
So supportive. So you do not feel alone. It's like a big family. It's like a big hug every week when we get together.
Sometimes it can be hourly hugs, right, with all the messages coming through.
Oh,
Which
absolutely.
they tend to come through at the moments when you most need them. It's almost that universe speaking to you. Somebody out there knows that you need a virtual hug or a message of encouragement or support, and they definitely come through.
Yes, they definitely do. Love it.
So we've got the Women Thrive Summit coming up in March 2024. And we will pop the link to the Women Thrive Summit in the chat. We also have the Women Thrive book. There's my copy. I know, Dawn, you've got your copy. I know I was so excited when mine arrived. I actually started reading it, and I'm not sure if Raimonda, because she's in Spain at the moment doing the business retreat, whether she's watching this or whether she probably will later, but it's her story that I'm currently moving through, and I can tell you what, just even flicking through the pages, what an inspirational group of women and group of stories, and so courageous to share those with us in print.
Yes. And I know how, and I think we've spoken about it in our groups, how it's scary to put our stories out for the world. I mean, I think the first time I shared my cancer journey was 10 years after it occurred, because it's, again, we want to hide these things away. And it's like, no, we have to speak about them, because every time I speak about them, somebody says, your message touched me. I would have never thought of this, or that if I didn't. So thank you. And so to like, that's what we're here for, to connect and to share the stories, because there's messages in here for everybody.
Yeah. I always think that you just don't know who's reading that book or that story or listening to that podcast, or like we were saying, having a not so great time at the moment. There's people that are battling things and struggling with a whole bunch of different things every day. And so you just don't know who's reading that story. And, you know, to the point where sometimes your story can save another life.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So I think it's wonderful.
Yeah. And it's real. And I'd like to share that a little testimonial there, because I think it's for lives. I do a practice called Intensati, and it's with movement and mantras, and it wakes up the energy in the body. And I do it every week, and I've been doing it for years on social media. And there are moments where I question, you know, is this what people need? Is this really serving others? Is it just serving me? You know, is this for the bigger goal and purpose to make this world a better place? And what's funny is when I ask those questions, I always get an answer. And there was a day when I got an answer from a message on Messenger, and a woman reached out to me from across the pond and said, Dawn, you literally saved my life, because I was thinking about ending it. I was done with the trauma. I was done with the pain. I was done not feeling good enough. And then I saw your practice again, your movement, your words, your powerful words. And it actually saved me. And I had done a practice, and I would love everyone to do this if you could. I did this practice, and she said it's the first time she ever hugged herself. If you've never hugged yourself before, please do this. You reach your arms out really big, and you just wrap yourself in a hug. Just when you feel like you're lost or alone, just remember, you've got your own back. And that touched her, and so we still talk. It's been a few years, and we still talk. We check in on, and I look forward to meeting her one day in person, in real life. But so we don't always know the work we're doing, but if you're called to do the work, then you're meant for the work, and someone's meant to hear you. So,
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's purpose, right? That is, in essence, purpose.
Yeah.
Is doing that work that has an impact on the lives of other people, even one other person every day.
One
You just don't know.
person at a time.
Yeah, because it has that butterfly effect, right? I always say that.
Right.
We do a lot of work with refugee women, and when you change the life of one woman, you impact the lives of many. You impact their children if they have children, their communities. You know, women are role models for their children, and they're usually head of house too. I know men tell themselves they're head of house, but I think we are, right? We run the show usually. And when we empower women, we empower children and we empower communities. And that's why I love the work that all the women in this community do, because we're all out there with very similar aligned purposes. So it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Now, shall we share a testimonial before we move on to our second group of speakers?
I'm ready. I think we should. Let's hear it from more speakers. Yes.
I'm ready too. Awesome. We will share a testimonial about Women Thrive Now.
I am a subconscious health practitioner, as well as a professional writer and poet, and an empowered speaker. I help people process emotional patterns that are stuck and living in the subconscious mind, and help them upgrade them so that they can live a life of optimal wellness and sustainable freedom. So it's really my mission to help educate and also help others heal themselves in a sustainable way about the subconscious and all the parts of them that are holding them back from living their truth. I decided to apply for Women Thrive Summit. I was like so clear that this was something that I wanted. So I am so grateful that I found this process. Ramonda is incredible and I love working with her. Her facilitation is really unique, and her presence, first and foremost, it's so inviting. The application itself was so thorough. Every question, every inquiry was very gentle, and it was very emotional as well. It was like a holistic lens, a holistic view of the person instead of just your credentials. I really appreciated that she offered openings for first-time speakers. The whole experience actually provided me a handful of clients, which I was not expecting. That's completely icing on the cake. This is not a process that occurs without fear and without growing edges. And so I say, bring it to the table, bring it in, because Ramonda is the right person to host and facilitate. This is a unique community in that there's never been more supportive women to hold you and witness you every step of the way. You have group accountability partners, you have one-on-one connections, you have so much network building as you go. You have Ramonda as your #1 personal cheerleader forever after this experience. And there's no expectation to show up without fear. Like, that's part of it. And to be able to be in a space that's safe enough to transmute that a little bit and actually use it effectively. And I think a lot of people come in hesitant because of their past experiences, speaking with other demographics or other environments that couldn't hold those emotional parts. They expect you to show up, deliver the goods, and not have any connection with the community that you might be presenting with, or any facilitation of how to actually do your craft. And so the honing, the nuance of this process is just invaluable. It's worth the price of admission and more. I would like to give the utmost kudos to the entire Women Thrive team. There's so much invaluable advice and guidance that you receive along the way. The mentorship is unmatched. And so this is not a relationship that ends when the summit ends. It is the gift that keeps on giving, is really all I can say. I have relationships forever now, both personal and professional. And I'm just so excited for what the future holds.
The gift
Beautiful.
that keeps on giving.
What a testimonial.
I love it. That was beautiful.
From one of our recent authors too, I might add, from the Women Thrive second volume.
Yes. That's what's so exciting. Poet, author, speaker. Like, there is such a variety of experiences and stories that to hear about. It's just phenomenal.
So much diversity. I love it.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Well. Okay, so our next speaker is Jane Wareham. So Jane is an empowering mindset coach, transformational speaker, and certified life coach dedicated to helping individuals unlock the extraordinary power of their minds and realize that a happy and fulfilling life is possible for them and simply a choice away. Goodness me, sorry, Jane. Wonderful work that you do as well.
Kylie, thank you. Dawn, you both ladies have been absolutely amazing. Thank you for that warm welcome. And you were just speaking on choices, so it's perfect.
Yes, I'm so keen to hear you speak this afternoon, Jane, because I think, like Dawn and I were saying, so many people really, I don't think they realize that they have the potential to unlock their own potential using mindset, and no doubt a lot of those strategies that you use in your work. So over to you, Jane.
No doubt. Thank you. I am so incredibly grateful to be a part of this Thrive community, and thank you for being here today. And I'm really looking to help inspire you to see that you absolutely can be feeling happier, feeling like your life is more fulfilling, and it truly is just one choice away. So this might sound familiar to you, and you can comment in the chat if it is, that you have it all on paper. You have everything that you ever wanted in life on paper. Maybe in your early 20s, you looked up to the woman you are now. You have it all. But at the end of the day, you're still feeling that sense of unhappiness, unfulfillment, like something's missing. And, you worked so hard to get to where you are right now, and you probably feel maybe like you should be feeling happier, but you're just not. Don't worry. I was in that exact same place. I felt that exact same way. It was not a good feeling. But I'm telling you, there is absolutely a happier life ahead of you, and it's a lot easier for you to attain than you think. And I'm going to share that with you today. So have you ever thought, I'll be happy when? I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when I get that promotion. I'll be happy when I get a better job. I'll be happy when I take that vacation. Does this sound familiar? Have you ever said these things? And don't worry, I used to say these all the time. You see, here's the problem. The problem is that I was looking for external validation, external things for my own happiness. More money, a better job, more vacations. All of those things are outside of me. And I was really thinking that that was going to make me happy, but honestly, it didn't. And when I really started to see that after being 8+ years in my career, 8 years, and I had it all on paper, I was making more money than I could have ever imagined. I had everything I thought I wanted, but I was stressed. I was unhappy. I was unfulfilled. Okay, so something really, really needed to change. So guess what I did? I quit my job. I was a project manager. I quit my job. Great idea. Quit my job. And I decided to sell everything I owned. And then I traveled around the world. So now I reflect back. Oh, Jane, what did you do? What did I do? Well, I continued to seek out external things to make me happy. But something really, really interesting happened when I was abroad. I am so fortunate to have traveled around the world, lived in New Zealand, lived in Australia, lived all over the world. But something really hit me. I realized something was that what I once valued in my early 20s, the hustle, the grind, the long hours, the more work I put in, the better I thought it made me look, was no longer what I valued in my 30s. And that was really eye-opening for me because I realized I had to look from within. I had to look from within to think about what is it now that I do value? And it was taking some space out away from that hustle and grind that I was able to start to see this for myself. And I really started to hone in and think about, what do I love to do? How do you start to figure out what you value? Well, let me think about what I love. What do I love to do? And how does that make me feel? And what I discovered is I love peace, calm. I love being in flow. I love feeling free. And it was only then that I could start to align what I value with the choices I was making in my life. And the good news is, I have good news for you. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to travel around the world for this to happen for you, because happiness comes from within. This is something that only you are the only person. Take this away right now. You're the only person that can create this for yourself. And the best way is for you to realize that you can start feeling happier right now. And it all comes down to reconnecting, thinking about what brings you joy. What brings you joy? What puts a smile on your face? And how can you start doing more of those things? I'm telling you, once you have a positive thought, if you're doing something that brings you joy, if you're thinking about something that puts a smile on your face, that positive thought turns to a positive feeling, which we all want to feel good. You want to feel happier, more fulfilled. It's going to turn into more positive actions, inspired actions. You're going to want to take more of them. You see, the mind is a really magical thing. And this is what I help my clients see. Every single day, you have a choice. You have a choice. You get to choose if you want to feel happier, if you want to think happier thoughts or not. So I hope you'll make the right choice, because honestly, now's the time for you to truly unlock the happiness that you deserve. Because if you're seeing other people happy around you, you deserve that too. And I want to share with you an amazing free download that I have that really helped me reconnect with myself, because you might be thinking right now, how am I going to reconnect with myself? How do I do that? I do this every single morning through a journaling practice. Sometimes I spend 5 minutes, sometimes I spend 20 minutes. But let me tell you, this is the flexibility of journaling. So I have an amazing free download. I'll share the link with you, where it's 5 days of inspiring journal prompts. And what this is designed to do is to get you thinking, get you into some positive thinking, dreaming. And the reason I have 5 days of prompts is because every day is a different prompt. One might resonate with you more and really help you connect with yourself. So I'm going to share that with you, because I want you to start reconnecting. I want you to actually take a moment right now and ask yourself, am I looking for external validation? Am I looking for that happiness around me through relationships, through work, through money? But what you really, really need to do, and what will truly unlock all the happiness that you've ever wanted, is reconnecting, bringing back that joy into your life, bringing that back every single day. And I'm telling you, a simple journaling practice, a simple doing more things of what you love to do for even 5 minutes.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. I have a question for you.
Of course.
In your journaling experience, can you share one aha, one benefit, one thing that you've gained from journaling?
Absolutely. So I know that there's a lot of talk around right now about like manifesting, right? Everyone's like, I manifested this, I did that. Let me just share with you quickly that for me, what journaling does, it allows me to take an idea that I have in my mind and put it down. So there's no boundaries. I don't limit myself with my journaling. And that's a beautiful thing. And I can tell you that I once journaled, I am speaking on global stages. It just came to me one day. I'm telling you, one day I was like, that would be cool. And I literally started writing it. And then over time, I journaled that for a couple weeks. I just wrote it. I will be speaking. I am speaking on global stages. And then from that, just one day, again, a couple weeks later of me writing that, I thought, I want to speak on global stages.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where the inspired action, I had the thought, it really created a good feeling inside me of, wow, how powerful would that be, me speaking on global stages? And I started to look into how I would do that. And here I am today. So honestly, like I manifested that through journaling. So if that inspires anyone, you know, at any level, it could be just, doesn't have to be on a global level. It can be on any level. It just really helps you put it out into the universe and keep it top of mind as well.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. I love it. And I'm a journaling fanatic as well. We find so much value. And in the practice I do, we say, when you feel good, you do good. And so to take that thought into like, oh, it feel like for you, it felt good. Like, this felt good. I can speak on global stages. I'm speaking. And that's a key, which I think you will teach your clients, the I am, the power of I am when you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
Critical, right? So that it's just so powerful. I love it.
Always speaking from the place of already having it so that you really get into that and believe that you have it. I mean,
Mm.
as you know, I think with journaling too, it's daily practice. So sometimes you might be writing things that don't feel right away. You may not feel that way, but over time, I mean, I've written other statements, success is inevitable for me. And I believe that, but it took time when we deal with self-doubt and failure
Mhm.
to switch those belief systems. But yeah, journaling's amazing. I'll share the link in just a moment in the chat for everyone.
Wonderful. Yes, they're gonna want to reach out to you for sure. Thank you, Jane, so much. I love
Thank you,
hearing
Don. You're amazing.
You too. You too. Yes. Oh, powerful. Watch the comments, grab Jane's link and check out her free 5-day journaling. I think that's amazing. 5 days. We can all commit to 5 days of writing, of paying attention to what we're thinking and what we want for our lives. It's critical, right? We're here for a purpose. We're here for a reason. And you're getting all these jewels from the speakers of how to start taking that inspired action. I just love this. This is so fun. So I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Leslie Stevens. Leslie Stevens is the CEO of the Cultivated Vision, a branding and marketing strategist, podcast host of Not an Influencer, an Impact Maker, and creator of the Client Connection Method. Let's welcome Leslie Stevens. Yay!
Hi, Dawn. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to hear you speak. So take it away.
Absolutely. So I'm going to jump in with a hard-hitting question and ask you, have you ever felt like you are trying to do absolutely everything that you feel like you're expected to do or you're supposed to do, and it's just not working out? Because I had this come up in so many different ways and in so many different areas of my life. And Kylie mentioned at the beginning, we are a group of daring and disruptive women. But I always was also the people pleaser. So I had this little rebel in me for a long time. And growing up, I would just suppress it. I would do what I thought I was expected to do, try and always do the right thing. And once I got into my professional career and was following the path that I thought I was supposed to follow, and then I decided to start my own business. So I followed what other people were telling me to do and what I felt like I was expected to do. One of which was post on social media all the time, and I would get clients. But from earlier in my life, where I was really trying to please people, but I could never make them happy. And I realized, okay, what if I stop trying to please them because I'm not getting the result that I want? And that came up in business. But it was so unexpected, and it took a breaking point for me where I burnt myself out from trying to keep up with that constant content creation, trying to make sure I was posting at the right time, had the right strategy, and just trying to be at the will of this ever-changing algorithm just to get my message out there, just to help people, which is the ultimate reason why I started my business. And I realized it had gotten so lost. And all of those expectations I had made up in my head of thinking of what I was supposed to do. So I tapped back in to that inner rebel and I said, okay, if I'm not getting the result for the thing that I thought I was supposed to do, showing up and putting in the work every day and not getting what I was promised, why don't I do the exact opposite? So I burnt that first business to the ground and I started an entirely new business. I didn't create a social media account. I didn't even have a website. And I was fully booked for the first 3 months of that business. And then that little voice popped in and it said, "Oh, you need to make a social media account." And I was like, wait, what have I been doing that allowed me to 10 times my first business income every month that I wasn't doing before. And it was because I was focused on making connections and having conversations over making more content. And I wish so badly somebody would have told me that at the beginning of business. And it really came down to trusting myself enough to take the path, to listen to my gut, to listen to that inner rebel that I had that was speaking that said, you don't have to follow everyone's directions to a T. You don't always have to do what you think is expected of you to do. But a lot of women feel that people pleaser tendency. And it's okay to go off on your own path. And it's okay to trust yourself, to take those risks because you have no idea what is on the other side. And it could be something absolutely incredible. So I have made it my mission and my purpose to support other women in learning how to trust themselves and helping them carve out their own path to success. And that's how I became a branding and marketing strategist that specialized in supporting coaches and service-based businesses to book clients without social media. And that's a little disruptive, and I get a lot of pushback on that. But I know everything that you do in business is about building relationships and connection. And I want to bring that human element back into business because so many of us have started out where we are because we want to help more people. And focusing on those people is what's going to bring us true success and true joy in what we do. So I have a free training that breaks down my whole system. It's on the clientconnectionmethod.com, and I'll share that with you. And Dawn mentioned that I am also a podcast host of Not an Influencer, an Impact Maker, where we talk about other organic strategies to book more clients in your online businesses. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Leslie. I was nodding my head throughout most of what you were saying for the last 5 or so minutes because I think so many of us as women, we have been people pleasers, right? Some women go through their entire life that way, and then they wonder why they're exhausted and they don't feel fulfilled. And it's that whole thing that you were talking about, that just real lack of alignment with what they know feels right. You can't really describe it, whether it's gut instinct or whether it's intuition, and we're not leaning into that enough as women because we've been kind of, programmed to pay attention to what everybody around us is saying. But when we, like you said, when we let go of those things and go, hold on, I'm going to just go with what feels right for me. And then, you experience that success. It's really phenomenal.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's such a great experience for women to know that they can make themselves happy and the people around them happy. I think we worry if we're not being intentionally a people pleasy for other people in our lives that we're going to disappoint them if we focus on ourselves as well and focus on developing our own path. But we can do it all. We can have it all. And proving that to ourselves is incredibly freeing.
Absolutely. And so empowering, right? To
Absolutely.
take a risk and face the fear and do it anyway, and be courageous enough to do it our way, and then recognize that I was right all along. Why didn't I do this 5 years ago?
Exactly.
It's part of the lessons and the learning, right? I guess. Oh, thank you so much, Leslie. Where can people find you, Leslie, if they want to reach out and connect with you?
So they can find me on Instagram at I am Leslie Stevens. I am on most platforms as Leslie Stevens, so you can find me, and on YouTube as The Cultivated Vision.
Wonderful. And please, Leslie, make sure you pop those links in the chat for our audience, because no doubt you'll have people wanting to connect with you after hearing you speak today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Well, that was amazing. I was making all sorts of notes. My notebook here this afternoon, even hosting, is full of all these beautiful little nuggets of gold from our speakers. So thank you, ladies. Now to our next speaker. So we have Nikisha Atkins is joining us next. She is the founder of Grief Love. She helps others find meaning and growth in loss by unveiling the power of grief. She offers solutions through practical advice, strategies, and resources that teaches how to take responsibility for your healing and how to utilize your faith to grow through grief. Oh, wow. I can't wait to hear your story, Nikisha.
Hi, thank you so much, Kylie. I'm excited to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can. I can't wait to listen
Awesome.
to you.
Thank you. I know that grief is a very sensitive topic. Yeah, I want to encourage people that life doesn't end there. There's so much more to it. So I want to first and foremost thank you for this opportunity to be a part of the summit. I'm super excited for the speaking opportunity next year as well. And so I'm happy to begin. So I'd like to start off by asking everyone a question, and you can put your comments or your answer in the chat box. Have you ever been on a roller coaster? You know, those contraptions of metal and adrenaline that takes you on a wild ride of twists, turns, and sudden drops. Just like a roller coaster, grief is not always fun, yet it is always memorable. I know firsthand as I've been on my grief roller coaster for more than 8 years. You see, it all started when my husband of 17 years passed away unexpectedly in an automobile accident. That was the worst day of my life. I had never experienced pain on that level before. It was crippling. It wouldn't let me get out of bed for weeks at a time, take care of my children, nor my household. There's no way I was going to survive this. Since then, I've also experienced additional losses of family members, including my mother. Within 4 years, I became a widow and a motherless daughter. I truly felt like my life was over. Those losses were sudden and devastating. As you can imagine, they left me disoriented and confused, similar to a roller coaster ride. I was in a constant state of shock, unable to believe this was my new reality. The looming question for me became, what now? In the early days, grief was like a roller coaster on steroids. One minute I'd be numb and detached, the next I'd be sobbing uncontrollably. I felt like I was on a constant emotional ride with no end in sight. But as I began to process my grief, I started to notice the roller coaster ride wasn't as intense as it once was. The ups and downs were still there, but they weren't as extreme. I was starting to find moments of peace and joy amidst the pain. That's when I realized that grief isn't a roller coaster that never stops. It's truly a journey with peaks and valleys, but with a clear direction, healing. I want to share something very special with you all. God has a plan for all of us, and that plan doesn't include harming us, as he lovingly tells us in Jeremiah 29:11. I know that it can be very difficult to see healing immediately after a loved one passes away because our vision is blurred with pain. Yet, healing is here, ready, and available for all of us. Grief is not just about sadness and pain. It can also be a time of growth and transformation. This has proven true for me. Remember, I mentioned that I couldn't get out of my bed for weeks at a time? Yet here I am, confidently sharing my grief experience with you in hopes that you find growth and meaning in your loss. As you move through grief, you may find a new appreciation for life. Grief has taught me to cherish my time with friends and family, which allows me to show up differently for them at each interaction. I refuse to take life for granted. I also believe that grief can be a catalyst for positive change. It has the ability to bring us closer to God, make us more open to new experiences and new ways of thinking. Early in my grief, I was so overwhelmed with pain and confused about the events that occurred that I stopped praying to God, reading his word, and even attending church. I didn't have the energy nor the desire to give God my sorrow. Yet as time moved forward, he gave me the wisdom to realize that I needed him to get through this chapter in my life. I started back talking to him authentically without holding back. That sounded a little like, God, why did you take my husband away from me? God, you said you cared about me. It sure doesn't feel that way. God, I can't do this. I am not strong enough. You know, I've heard so many people say you shouldn't question God. I say he's the best person to ask questions regarding life and death because he's the only one who has the correct answer. As I took steps to add him back into my life, I began to feel his love again through comforting words and kind gestures from others, and the reassurance in his word that says he will never leave nor forsake me. Although there will be days when you feel like you're right back on that intense roller coaster, there will also be days when you feel the sun on your face and the wind in your hair. The important thing is to take accountability for your healing by moving forward, even when you feel like you can't take another step. Yes, grief is a very difficult experience, but guess what? It does not have to define your life. With time and effort, the intensity of the pain decreases, the confusion wears off, and you start to realize how strong you truly are. Strength isn't ignoring grief. Strength is acknowledging the emotions you feel and allowing them to wash over you. Changing your definition of strength can aid in your healing. And my friends, I want you to know that you can heal and find joy again. So on this day, I challenge you to partner with God and start your healing journey. Thank you. I want you to also know that you can connect with me on my website, 𝐷𝐾𝐬𝐴Tkins.com. And I also have what I like to call a healing toolkit. They are digital downloads that I have available on Shopify. They include a gratitude journal, an anxiety journal, and a women's self-affirmation bundle.
Oh, Nikisha, thank you so much. I have like goosebumps. What a powerful journey you've been on. Powerful journey. And I love that you said, question God. Like, who else are you going to ask the big questions to? Right?
Exactly. He's the creator of life. He's the only one who knows. We don't know. So, I just always have taken that on. I'm going to be authentic with God because he knows everything anyway. So why am I trying to hide my thoughts and my true feelings? I'm going to pour it all out there, give it to him because he wants to take it on anyway. And he's strong enough to handle it. He can handle it. Yeah. And in return of my fear, he's going to give me peace instead. So.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Thank you so much. You have so much to give and so much to share. Remember to put your contact information in the comments and people reach out to Nikisha. I think someone wrote in the comments, we're all going to experience a loss. Like we are. So
absolutely
join in with people that can guide you through and hold your hand and show you the best path, because there will be peaks and valleys.
Absolutely. And like you said, even if we haven't experienced it, we will one day, or we will need to be the support person for someone. And so it will be great to have that knowledge, that know-how to how to approach the topic of grief to really help friends and family members who may be going through it as well.
Yes. Yes. We're all in this together, right? We support
absolutely
one way or another. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to hear your message and look forward to hearing it more as our journey continues up until the summit.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Oh, beautiful stories, right? Just like, again, I had goosebumps, like to be able to turn our pain into purpose, like to really learn from that and share. It takes so much strength and courage. So I'm so grateful for all of our speakers. And I'm going to bring on a testimonial from one of the past speakers. We can hear another testimonial. And we have 2 more speakers to come, 2 more stories. So excited. And remember to check the comments for where you can sign up for the summit coming up in March. We also have the book. If you want to purchase the book, purchase the book. And there's a Thrive magazine where you can read more powerful stories. So please check the comments and join the community. So we are ready for our next testimonial.
I'm Tanya Newbold. I am a life transformation strategist. I support people to grow and see their true magnificence so that they will transform their world and the world around them. And when Ramonda and I met, I was so impressed by her presence of who she is internally and her spiritual presence, her aura, everything about her. And I shared with her my story with perinatal mood disorders. And it is because I suffered severely when I had my beautiful daughter, but yet it was part of God's plan because I was meant to do something about it. Ramonda saw that in me, and we just immediately connected, and she very shortly after invited me to be a part of Women Thrive Summit, which was such a fantastic experience. So my standout moment may not be what you would expect to hear. With the Women Thrive Summit, there's this fantastic portal, very well organized, and they utilize all the information to consistently promote you across many different platforms. Well, I am not as strong at that as I would like to be. And it got to a point where things were needed, I was behind, and Ramonda left me the most beautiful voice memo with so much love and kindness about how it was breaking her heart that I was not utilizing and taking advantage of the opportunities. She was very straightforward in such a loving manner. It was one of those moments that made me realize, pay attention to the opportunities, to the details, get the support where you need it so you can shine with what you're supposed to do. And the way she handled that with me was a complete game changer in my business and in my life. What I love so much about being a part of the Women Thrive Summit was the opportunity to see so many powerful women supporting each other, because there's room for all of us. It starts with Ramonda, her team, and then all of the people involved. She sees the vision of how she wants it to go, which allows each of us to then step into that vision with her. And I absolutely love the journey. It's a beautiful opportunity. You will learn and grow. You will have the opportunity to share your story and touch many different lives. It will indeed change your life. So if you're thinking about doing it, do it. The gift that you have been given to give to others needs to be in the light. This is an opportunity for you to put your gift into the light. Do not be afraid of that.
Wow, right? And I know that's not the only, I ditto that. The support that we get in this community, the desire that Ray has to see us all succeed is amazing. It's amazing. So good. So remember to sign up for the summit coming up in March. I'm going to introduce our next speaker. So excited to introduce Sola Togan Butler. Dr. Sola Togan Butler is the founder, CEO, and psychotherapist at Butterfly Counseling Services. She established Butterfly Counseling Services to make mental health services accessible and affordable to a diverse client population and challenge the stigma associated with receiving mental health services. She is also the founder, CEO, and certified professional life coach at Transformative Coaching and Consulting. She empowers women to go from burnout to balance by using realistic self-care toolkits that fit their busy schedules. Let's welcome Sola.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so much.
So excited to have you. Take it away.
Sure. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry if my voice is a little hoarse. It's because I am a little bit under the weather. So I want to introduce myself again. So I am a licensed clinical therapist and a certified professional life coach. And I put together a program where I empower women to go from burnout to balance by using realistic self-care toolkits that fit their busy schedule. So I took my years of experience as a mental health professional. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an entrepreneur, and I decided to put this program together because I felt that the majority of programs out there to minimize stress or prevent burnout fail to address the unique needs of women. And by that, I mean they do not address the emotional health of women as well as our cognitive health. So, cognitive is our thought patterns and the role that our thought patterns play in terms of our emotions and our subsequent behavior. So, I felt it was very important to design a program that addressed all of these factors. Because the question that I often ask is, how have you been socialized? Now, socialization is basically, how do you know what you know? Now, when you think about that question for a second, the majority of us know what we know as a result of our culture, our society, the media, what our parents have taught us, what our caregivers have told us. And then we take these messages and we internalize these messages. And then these messages can impact both our cognitive health and our emotional health. So, in my work with women, for example, I often ask them, what are some of the messages that you have internalized that could potentially put you on the path to burnout? So, for example, some women have internalized the message that I can't say no. I should always be available to everyone, making it difficult for them to set healthy boundaries. Sometimes we hear the message, you're every woman, you can do it all. And we internalize these messages. And unfortunately, they can put us on the path to burnout. So that's why it was so important for me to develop a program that addresses the cognitive health of women. So now I'm going to share a story with you because I believe that narrative therapy is very powerful because we can connect with each other based on our lived experiences. So years ago, I decided to start my PhD program. So at the time I started my PhD program, I had two young children. I believe my daughter was about 4, my son was 2 years old. I was married and I was working full time. So I was teaching full time, raising my children, being a wife, a PhD program, extremely busy. And my thought process was I could do it all. I come from a line of very, very independent women. So I felt that I could do this. I have this. I don't need to ask anyone for help. I will get through this. So one day my daughter comes home from school and she says to me, she goes, Mommy, do you want to see my painting that I made about our family? And I said, sure. And I was really eager to see the painting because as therapists, we know that young children can use play therapy and art to let you know how they're feeling internally. So what they're not able to maybe verbalize, they can show you through their play and through their drawings. So I took a look at my daughter's drawing and I was absolutely shocked. So she was on the couch with her dad and her brother, and I was all the way at the other end of the living room. So I asked my daughter, who was 4 at the time, I said, how come mommy is all the way over here and you're sitting with dad and your brother together on the couch? And that's when she said to me, Mommy, you are always doing work. And I have to say it broke my heart because that was her way of letting me know that I did not have a balance. I was so busy working that maybe I wasn't spending the time with her that I needed to. So it was at that moment that I decided that I needed to check in with my cognitive health. What was that thought process I had that was potentially putting me on the path to burnout and affecting my interpersonal relationships? And I realized that it was the I can do it all. And I decided at that moment in time, I was going to challenge that thought process. And I said, what is an alternative thought? How do you deconstruct I can do it all and then rebuild a more realistic thought pattern so that you do not burn out and you have more time with your children? So the first thing I did was I moved my office into the living room. So now when they were playing, I was right there. So while I'm typing my papers, I had the kids playing around me. Number 2, I made sure I took regular breaks to spend time with them. So I would do my papers for about an hour, and then take 15 minutes and just sit on the floor in the living room and play with them. And there were some days when I was taking advanced statistics, that was a lot of work, where I would ask my husband, can you help me? I really need to work on this research. I do not have time right now. Can you help me with the kids? So that is how I teach women to challenge these thought patterns that could potentially put us on the path to burnout. So now what I'm going to show you is what I have my clients do. So I have a postcard. So at the top, it says, I can do it all. So that is the negative thought pattern. So I have my clients take an index card and write down, I can do it all. So that is a thought pattern that could potentially put you on the path to burnout. Now, on the back of the card, you write an alternative thought. So for me, it was move your office to the living room, take a break with the kids, ask for help. So whenever this thought would come up, I would grab my index card and remind myself, this is the alternative thought. This is the thought that's going to give you that balance, minimize stress, and prevent burnout. And most importantly, it's going to impact your interpersonal relationships in a healthy way. Now, here's another example that I often see in my work. Women tell me I can't say no to others because they have been taught that they must always be available to others. And then what happens is they fail to set healthy boundaries. So I have them take an index card. I can't say no to others. That is the thought pattern we want to change. Then on the flip side, we are going to write the alternative thought that's going to give them balance. I can say not right now. Because women would say to me, it's very hard for me to say no. So I see, let's start with not right now. So if somebody asks me to do something and it's going to impact my work or it's going to overwhelm me, I can say, you know what? I can't do this today, but I am free next week. I'll be able to help you then. So what we do is whenever these thought patterns come up, we go to our index card and we remind ourselves, what thought is going to give me balance? And over time, we begin to internalize it. So it becomes a habit. So I can honestly say I can do it all is not a thought that comes up for me anymore because it's not realistic. Now I become the person where I delegate where I need to so that I do not burn out. Now, if you would like to know more about the program, if you would like to know more about me, I have a Facebook group, Burnout to Balance, Women's Community for Self-Care and Wellness. And we spend a lot of time talking about tips that we can use to minimize stress, prevent burnout, and take care of our cognitive and emotional health. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Sola. Again, another moment when I was sitting here nodding all by myself at a lot of what you were saying, just as, you know, the experience as a mother that very similar to yours, actually. And I was thinking while you were speaking how often our precious children are the catalyst for change that we make in our lives. And it's usually because of them that we make changes that without them, we wouldn't make those changes necessarily for our own selves and our own health. Usually takes the observations of our precious children to say things about maybe our lack of presence or how we are as parents that makes us sort of sit up and take notice and make the changes that we really do need to make. So I found it amazing what you were saying.
Thank you so much. Yes, I believe that children can be the catalyst for change. So even now as an entrepreneur, I'm always checking in with my children, making sure that I have that balance because maintaining that relationship with them, being close to them, being involved is very important to me.
Absolutely. And I think for me, when I first had my daughter, I thought it was so critical to be there when she was a baby, when she was little.
Yes.
I returned to work full time after when she was 3 months old, which broke my heart. But now she's 15 and I realized that they actually need you just as much as they grow into adolescence. Not more, it's just different, I think. So yeah, I found what you were saying to be so true and so powerful and absolutely loved it.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate being here. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate that too. Thanks
so much, Sola. Thanks for being a part of it today. Alrighty, we are heading towards the end. I'm sure Dawn and I could sit on here for hours with all of you ladies. This has just been brilliant. I love afternoons like this, to be honest. We have one more speaker, one more wonderful woman that I'm going to introduce now, Judy Murillo. She is an internationally acclaimed personal growth trainer and coach who stands as a beacon of inspiration in the realm of self-improvement. Renowned for her profound experience, she has authored an impressive collection of, wait for it, 24 books, 2 of which have attained international bestseller status. The transformative volumes, You Are More Than Enough and Ignite the Spark. Welcome, Judy.
Hello, thank you. It's so good to be here. I'm honored to be a part of the Women Thrive Summit that's coming up in March and to have the opportunity to meet people ahead of time. Have you ever thought that you could have been more, or you should have been more, or you would have been more if only? If only you'd had different parents, if only you'd have gone to a different school, if only you would have done any number of other things? Yes, we all have. We've all thought we could have been more. But the truth of the matter is we're exactly who we're supposed to be right now. We're exactly where we're supposed to be right now. If we weren't, we'd be somewhere else. But we can be more. We don't have to be more, but we can be more if we want to. And what I mean by that is we can achieve our goals. We can have the things that we want. We can go the places that we want to go. We can do what we want to do, and it'll happen. I've had an incredibly wonderful life. And I think it was because when I was 16, I was throwing a fit about my hair. This hair thing had always been very big with me. And I was throwing this fit about my hair, and my father said, come into the kitchen and sit down at the table. And I thought, uh-oh, I've done it now. He's going to kill me. And he said, what would you like your tombstone to say? And then I knew for sure he was going to kill me. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, you have to determine how you want to be remembered after you're gone. And if you will determine that now, you will live your life that way. It's like you're determining your purpose. And when you know your purpose, then it's so easy for you not to get off the path. It's easy for that to be your North Star. And it makes it easier for you to say no when somebody tries to get you to do something that you don't want to do, or it's not in keeping with your goals. So he said, we're going to sit here this afternoon and we're going to figure out what your purpose is going to be. And I don't think it's going to be that you have the greatest hairstyle on the face of the earth. That is not what you want to be remembered for. So we spent the afternoon, and I wrote out that I would like my life to be so positive, to live in such a positive way that after I'm gone, that my life will live positive in the lives of other people. And that's exactly what has happened for me. My whole life has followed that path. I am here to help other people, mostly women, because I work with women entrepreneurs, to help them to become all that they want to be, to accomplish their dreams, to accomplish their wants and their needs and their expectations, and to help them to find the power within themselves to make these things happen. Now, how do we do that? I have a 5-step plan that I use whenever I do a project, whenever I write a book, whenever I'm living my life. It's a 5-step plan. And it's like this. The first thing is, once we have our purpose established, what is the action plan? What is the actions that we're going to have to take to get there? And one of those actions is that we have to determine where we are right now, where it is we want to go, and what is that gap between now and where we want to go. What is that gap? What is that space in between? Let's figure out what that is and figure out what we have to do to fill that gap to get us to the place where we want to go. So we're making this action plan of the actions that we're going to take. And it's a lot more detailed than that. I even designed a book. It's called the Achievement Journal, because I am an achievement coach. I help people achieve their goals. And in the Achievement Journal, there is a place for us to write our goals. There is a place for us to measure our goals every 21 days. There is a place for us to paste pictures of our goals, to visualize and to put our pictures in there. And then when we get them in there, every day when we write in the journal, what did I do today to accomplish my goal? We look at that vision board that we've put in the book, and we see, oh, this is what I was going to do today. And then every day we write down the one thing that we did that day to accomplish our goals. And I've divided our lives into 8 different stress areas so that we have goals in the different stress areas of our life and that we can accomplish those goals. Now, once we've got the goals down and ready to go, there's 4 or 5 more steps that I want to share with you, but I don't have time today, so I'm going to encourage you to attend the Women Thrive Summit in March, because I'm going to give you the whole formula then. But the first step is the action plan. And then, of course, the second step is how do we get other people excited about what it is that we're doing so that they want to do it with us too, so that they want to drag their friends and families in to do it with us. And I'm going to give you the key for that on how to make that happen when we get that together. Sorry about that timer. I remembered for once to turn my timer on so I know it's time for me to stop. And so I'm stopping here today. And you can find me on JudyMoreo.com. It's JUDIMOREO.com. And you can find me all over the internet. You just type my name in, you'll find me somewhere on one of the social media platforms. And I have a couple of free ebooks for you. If you go into JudyMoreo.com, I have an ebook on unlocking potential. How do you unlock your potential? And I have one on the power of meditation. And there are several others as well. So just go to JudyMoreo.com and you'll be able to print off those ebooks.
Yes. Thank you, Judy. Thank you. Can you please share again, Judy, the 1 and the 2? I think you were on number 2, right?
Yeah, it was on step number 2. Yes. The first step is the action plan. That's once you know your purpose, it's your action plan. And the second step is your promotion campaign. It's how you get people excited. How when you pull up in their driveway, they say, "Please try again." I don't know.
Siri wants to play.
She's just talking away with me saying something goes wrong, something goes wrong. Well, something always goes wrong. But you know what? We just need to expect that in life and be prepared that we're not going to let it knock us over, right?
Right. Not at all. Not at all.
So the promotion campaign is how do you get people excited about what you're doing? And I believe that you do that by being the best you can be at what you do. You do it so good that everybody wants to do it with you, and you do it so well that everybody brings their friends to do it with you. And I have a secret about how I learned that I'm going to tell in March.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh. So you have to come, people have to come back and hear it in March.
Yeah, they do.
And it's so true. Like when we live in that excited way, we're not forcing something on somebody. It's like we shine so bright and we're so excited about what we're doing. People want like, what do you have? What's going on? Like,
yeah,
we radiate
it's
that.
Like that. It's like that movie where, where they met at that little old lady was sitting in the restaurant. And she looked over at the girl that was imitating having an orgasm at the table. And she said, "I want what she's having."
Yes. When Harry Met Sally, right?
Yes. When Harry Met Sally, and the little old lady goes, "I want what she's having." And so that's what we want to do. We want to be so exciting and do so much in such a way that people go, "I want to have what she has. I want to do what she does." Yeah. And then you can say, "Well, come and do it with me. And then I'll show you how."
Yes. Oh, I love that. I'm so excited to hear the rest of your 5 chapter secrets. It's going to be a powerful summit in March where we're just going to give so much and really just keep building this inner circle, this circle of powerful women who are thriving, women who are helping lift each other up. Thank you, Judy, so much. I'm so glad to have met you, to meet you, to be here with you as a speaker.
Thank you. It's been a wonderful experience for me to meet all of the tremendous women in this group. It's been fabulous.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So let's bring Kylie up as well. And we're going to wrap up our day. Has this been wonderful? This is so exciting.
How good. I was giggling at Judy when Harry Met Sally, and I remember that scene and that movie.
Oh, it was
absolutely
good. So good, right?
Oh, what a powerhouse group we've had today, huh?
Powerful, powerful. Yep. I'm sharing Judy's link in the chat. Make sure you grab it. There we go. Kylie, do you have one takeaway from our amazing speakers?
One. That's putting me on the spot, Dawn.
I know.
No, but you know what? I was actually, as I was taking all those mad notes when the speakers were on and we were, backstage, there was a couple of common themes that were definitely coming through for me, and it really does embody, I think, the whole essence of the Women Thrive community, and that is that everything from our interactions, the way Raymonda and Abby engage with us, the opportunities that we have as part of this community, it all comes from a genuine place of care and support. And like we were saying earlier, we have so many interactions in our chats and our meetings, but to be scattered all across the globe and to still have that feeling of feeling connected to something and something so worthwhile has absolutely been amazing. So for me, there was huge themes of empowerment coming through, all the beautiful work that the women are doing, supporting people on their different respective journeys, because we have all those different journeys within our big life journey. So I've just loved this afternoon hearing from all the women.
So powerful. And I want to invite those watching to take a look at some of these powerful women. Jane, Leslie, put it in the comments if I missed you, but you have podcasts. Listen to their guests, listen to them speak. I've been on Jane's podcast, really fun. I'm scheduled to be on Leslie's podcast. You can learn so much, right? And there's such jewels of information. And what I love about podcasts is you get to hear from different people. Just like in the Thrive Summit, you get to hear stories from so many different women, different journeys. And there's something that we can relate to because we're not alone. And sometimes we feel alone, like I'm all by myself here. I'm all, I'm doing this thing. And when we really connect with each other, we realize like, oh, I'm not that different than you or you. And so really tuning in, check out their podcasts. And again, if I missed you, put your podcast information in the chat for the audience to know where to find you as well. Powerful.
Absolutely. I've joined a couple of the women on their podcasts as similar to you, Dawn, and it's been so fun. It's not that rigid structured interview style that a lot of people think of podcasts. It's just been sitting down with another woman, having a chat about life and purpose and what drives us and the work that we do and why it's meaningful to us, which sort of ties to our own respective journeys. But they've been an absolute blast. So, yes, absolutely. Please check out the podcasts of the women in the Women Thrive community that have their podcasts. I know also Judy has her own TV program on Roku from memory. I think that's correct. Yes, it is. There you go. Judy just popped it in the chat. It's called What's Your Story with Judy. So check that out as well because lots of inspiration and motivation and wonderful stories to be shared.
Wonderful. I'm going to put that I don't think that's in I'm sharing it with the community.
One other thing, while Dawn's doing that, popping Judy's show, What's Your Story, into the public chat, I was just going to take this opportunity to remind the audience that we have obviously one more month left of 2023. So that means one more speaker showcase in December, and that will be on the 14th of December. And you can register for that on womenthrivesummit.com. And those links, I know Dawn's been putting those links throughout while the speakers have been speaking and presenting this afternoon. And there's also a special end-of-year panel event that will take us right up until just before the holidays, which is due to be scheduled for the 21st of December. And that panel will be a discussion. I'm not going to say what it's about or the topic because you have to tune in to see. But it will be featuring a couple of the speakers from today, actually, including Dawn and myself and Crystal, our relationship expert, and Dr. Sola as well, and also one of our other Women Thrive colleagues, Chaitali. So that's going to be sort of a double whammy for December for our audience.
Oh, it's going to be a fun panel. It's going to be so much information to share. I love it. Yeah.
It's going to be brilliant. And just before we break for the holidays, which I think we all are looking for a well-deserved break at the end of this year.
Yes. Just as important as the work is, that we show up and we're serving our families, our business, the breaks are just as important. So being able to take that time off, play, have fun, rest, just like Dr. Sola shared, like how to really balance that and really be present with your family, just as important, and consciously aware, right? Consciously aware of the choices we're making so that we choose to be present. Yeah.
I love the end of the year, not just because we get a break, but I love, I try and look at endings as new beginnings, not, I guess, typically how we view endings. And I always love the end of the year because it's an opportunity for something new and exciting. So it's a time to reflect and recharge and refocus and think about what our intentions are for 2024 and the exciting new year that will be ahead of us.
Yes. Yes. I just want to thank the speakers for showing up today, for speaking with courage, with confidence, sharing their stories. Thank you so much for Ray and Abby for allowing us to host the Women Thrive Speaker Showcase today. This has been really exciting to be on the other side of things and really introduce you and your stories and your journey. Like it just blows my mind. I think after we get off this call, I'll be like, wow, what just happened? Like the powerhouse, we all know what it takes to run a business. And if we could stop for a moment, maybe even give yourself that big hug again and go, wow, I'm doing it. I'm showing up, not just for myself, first for ourselves, but then for the world, for whether it's our families, our business, our world, across the world, like we're showing up. And I'm just grateful. I'm so grateful. So keep on showing up. Keep on living your life. Shine so bright. Shine so bright. The world needs your light.
Absolutely. Well, what a beautiful note to end another speaker showcase. Dawn, it's been amazing. Thank you so much. It's been so much fun. And thank you, all of you wonderful speakers and our audience as well. And we will hopefully see you just before the holiday season kicks off for the final speaker showcase for Women Thrive in December.
Yes. And thank you for the Women Thrive team that helped this showcase run so smoothly. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.